Hello VC, YouTubers, welcome to my channel. Tony here. Tony's LPs are us. Hope everyone's doing well. This is just my little tribute to Brian Wilson, who passed away a few days ago, June 11th, 2025. He was 82 years old. He was born 6/20/42. I'm not going to talk about his innovations, how he changed pop culture, how he probably helped innovate recording studios and followed the Phil Spector Wall of Sound type of deal. I'm not going to go into that. We all know his talents. Without Brian Wilson, there's no Beach Boys. Unfortunately, he really didn't get to tour with the Beach Boys too often because of his demons and his illnesses, etc. But we all know that without Brian, there'd be no Beach Boys. So this is just a little tribute. I'm not going to really say much about Brian specifically. I'm going to show his music via his albums that I have. And I've been collecting Beach Boys albums as long as I've been collecting anyone else. I don't always listen to the Beach Boys albums. I listen to the Beach Boys in my car. I listen to them in the summer by the pool or when I'm at the beach, typical stuff. But I was fortunate enough to see Brian at PNC in New Jersey a few years back when he was doing solo tours. And I think a few members of the original band, the original Beach Boys, toured with him at that time. The fun thing about that show too was that Springsteen came on at the end, since it was in Springsteen's backyard in New Jersey down the shore. Springsteen came on and did a few songs at the end of the show, which was fun. People went crazy. Typical, Bruce showing up for one of his idols, Brian Wilson. And like I said, I'm not going to really discuss all the Brian Wilson attributes because I don't have enough time here, and it's all over YouTube. You could watch the videos, you could watch him talk, you could just a genius of pop music. Everything was in his head. Probably didn't even have to write anything down. So I'm going to show his albums, and then at the end I'll show you a couple of my favorite Beach Boys albums that I kind of tend to listen to all the time. Of course, yes, Pet Sounds is in that pile. What else was I going to say? I saw the Beach Boys many times. Never with Brian, always the band that forms for that particular time. And actually they're touring in New Jersey. They're actually playing in New Jersey again on the 13th, a few days from now at PNC. So that's going to be a great show. I'm sure that show's sold out right now. So I'm just going to show some albums, but I want to thank everyone for stopping. It's just a little tribute. It's not going to be long. Maybe 10, 12 minutes. That's how many records I have here. So I have a whole pile. I'm just going to show them. And some of them you may have seen, some of you may not have seen. This is a great concert, probably live, but maybe applause added in post-production. But who knows? Here you can see the silhouettes of the boys in concert. This is a Pickwick. Here, the Beach Boys' greatest hits on Wand Records. They were on many labels. Brian was on many labels. This has Surfer Girl, Surfing Safari, 409, Karate. This is only 61 to 63. Here's a nice one you don't see too often. I believe Heartland Records. Capitol, Surfing USA, Surfing Safari, I Get Around. If you're interested, I'll show you. That's a yellow Capitol label. But I have a lot of records that I've accumulated in collections, and probably a few of them I bought when they were new, which are probably more at the end of what I'm going to show here. I don't have any of the Beach Boys reissues that were done purely audiophile, analog, 45 RPMs. I never bought any of those. Here is the Beach Boys, great album. And there's a great shot of the boys there. Here's Bruce Johnson going public. I threw him in the mix because he played, was a member on and off. Here is Carl Wilson's album. Great shot, great solo album. Here is a Golden Greats, 20 Golden Greats, capital EMI. These records have been done over and over and over again. I'm not even sure how many Beach Boys records came out that were albums at the time, like legitimate new albums with new material. Someone out there knows that answer. I don't know that answer. Here is a great one of my favorites. Beach Boys in concert, a modern Beach Boy. And of course they do the hits on here. Caroline No, Help Me Rhonda, California Girls, Great Gatefold. Here's a cool one, The Good Vibrations I Get Around. Beach Boys music. Really good sound on this. This is on Casablanca. This is kind of like a disco flavored album. Pretty cool. You could probably pick this up relatively inexpensive on eBay. Beach Boys Best Of Volume 2. Barbara Ann, 409. Surfing Safari, Help Me Rhonda, I Get Around. Beach Boys Party, pretty cool. This is a later reissue. It has the barcode. I think I have an OG of this somewhere. Green Capital. This is in really good condition. Probably played it once. Picked it up in a collection. I didn't buy this when it came out. That's not Beach Boys. Surfer Girl, Beach Boys. Nice compilation, great cover. Spirit of America's on here. And this is a Pickwick International. Here we have Best Of Sail on Sailor. I kind of tend to like the later Beach Boys, which I will listen to more often. The more less surfing, more rock Beach Boys. This has Sloop John B, God Only Knows, Good Vibrations, Heroes and Villains, great stuff. It's amazing that they've been around since '62 or so. The #1 surfing group in the country. Surf's Up, here comes the Beach Boys, #1 surfing group in the country. Surfing music was big back then. These guys kind of put it on the map. This may be a Rainbow Capital. Rainbow Capital, there you go. There's the front. Beach Boys today. Kind of taking a, Beatles type of cover. I don't know who came first, Beatles today or Beatles yesterday and today. Probably same time. Dick Clark liner notes here. Surfing Safari. Original mono. Shut Down, Volume 2, The Beach Boys. Don't Worry Baby, Louie Louie. Fun, Fun, Fun. And it shows a catalog of records that you could go out and pick up before the internet. Great album, one of my ones I go to a lot, the Beach Boys Wild Honey. This is an original though. All Summer Long, I Get Around. And on this, each Beach Boy gave us a little brief biography here about themselves. You have really Dennis Wilson, Brian Wilson, Carl Wilson, Al Jarreau, Michael Love. And I think Al Jarreau was with Brian when I saw them, Brian's solo tour. Here we have Little Deuce Coupe. And Spirit of America's on here. Again, you have pictures of cars and the boys. This is probably this is a reissue on the yellow Capitol label. So, like I said, I'm not going to really say much about Brian. That hasn't been said, and I'm not a Beach Boys aficionado, but I just grew up with the Beach Boys. This is a cool one. I believe this might be an import, or I have an import of this. The Beach Boys, the London Telegraph on the back, and the Beach Boys Live in London. Pretty good, really a nice cover. One of the best, in my opinion, Beach Boys covers. I've been there. Here you have a little similar to the front. Beach Boys Live in London. You have the flags matched or mixed there, melded. Front row with the Beach Boys. Here's one that's kind of beat up, but this is a cool one. All summer long I get around. Windy. Oh, I showed this one already, but this one's kind of beat up. And here you have the Beach Boys Summer Days and Summer Nights. And someone wrote on here, I love you, and with a name on the back. I don't mind if people write on their records and I pick them up used. It doesn't bother me. I'm never one to try to erase these. I think it's part of the joy of and part of the hobby of collecting people's collections that meant something to them, and it has a little bit of a of a history to it this way. This also has little biographies from Dennis, Al Jarreau, Carl, Mike, and Brian on the back, which was, par for the course back then. Here's Surfin' Safari, a different one of kind of like a shortened version of the album. You can see there, less songs, pretty sparse. This is Orange Capitol. These sound pretty good though. They probably used, since it was Capitol, probably used dubs of the original tapes, but they sound pretty good. Here's a really good Beach Boys album. Getting to some of the ones that these are part of my favorites that I listen to a lot. Beach Boys Love You. This was produced by Brian. And there you could see EJ Corvettes. I picked these up when EJ Corvettes was going out of business. They had a huge record sale. I bought a lot of Kiss records. I'm thinking some of these records were actually like 17 cents. They marked everything down. They were clearing out the shelves. And I was able to pick this up there. I think I have a few of these. This is a great one. This is a tribute to Brian Wilson, Smiles, Vibes, and Harmony. This has various artists doing, Brian's songs, Beach Boys songs. You have here The Records, The Untamed Youth, The Vacant Lot, Sharky's Machine, The Original Sins, Do Help Me Rhonda, Billy Childish, and the Three Headcoats do 409, the A-Bones do Drive-In. There's that. This is Rhino, maybe? There's the label there. So I really like this. I listen to this because I like to hear other bands' interpretations of Brian's music. Here's a cool one, compilation, Close Up, Capitol Gatefold. This was a cutout. You can see a punch. Beach Boys again, another. This was from Pickwick. Best of the Beach Boys. Again, catalog on the back. Surfer Girl. Beach Boys with the surfing material. Surfboard, typical. That's some of my favorites again. Spirit of America, great compilation. I believe these have posters in them. These are really good. They're inexpensive. They sound great. The hype sticker here is actually on the record because I think the company Capitol wasn't happy that there were no songs on the back of this jacket. So this is a first pressing. Maybe later on they actually imprinted it on the record, but there's the tracks. Here are my tickets when I saw Brian Wilson. This was July 1st, 2015, so it was 10 years ago. It seems like yesterday. Live Nation presents Brian Wilson, Rain or Shine, and I have a couple of tickets here because I took my kids. I held on to the tickets. This is the remastered, re-edited back to an album, Smile by the Beach Boys, with a double record. This is a really good sounding record. I picked this up in Delaware by the college in Delaware. Great record store there. Here's another great one, Endless Summer. This has the songs on back, but this is a great sounding record. There's a lot of new compilations that really sound good from Walmart and Target. So if you're looking to get some Beach Boys, here's a great one. One of my favorites, a more modern. This has some really good tracks on here. You can see that famous photo with the warrior. Let me see what label this is. This is a Warner original first press. But thanks for stopping by, watching. I know this text is a little longer than I was hoping, but I appreciate all the subs. Now here are my Pet Sounds. This is a near mint copy of an OG mono Pet Sounds, and this belonged to someone else. Has a little, return address card on it. Has the name on here. This is from Ford, New Jersey. There you go. Here's another Pet Sounds that's in really good condition. This is also a mono, I believe. I think this still has shrink on it. Here's a great one. One of my grails, a Duophonic stereo. Pet Sounds. And these compilations are really good. I remember Fremer talking about these compilations. Whatever they did to compile these records, they just sound fabulous. So if you could pick this up, this compilation, it's High Water, a 2-record set. There's the tracks. Now this one has a sticker printed on it that says "As Seen on TV." So these were sold via television, and here I have one that doesn't have that sticker. It's a Pickwick, but they sound good. I think Fremer talked about this. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I remember him talking about this, or someone talking about this record and how good it sounds, and it does sound pretty good for a Pickwick. So that's it. Rest in peace, Brian Wilson. You gave us, what can I say? You changed it, right? You changed pop music. So keep rocking. Thanks a lot. If you haven't subbed to Tony's LPs or Us, please consider subbing. Really appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Ciao.